Hi.
Hello.
I'm sorry, I'll be back before.
Yeah, Kelton.
Kelton? I see it's Jesse.
Well,
You're going to be some Hopkins.
yeah, Hopkins.
You're walking better.
Yeah.
What was the medication for?
One was anti-inflammatory and the other one was for pain.
Oh, okay. He's doing okay?
Yeah, he's doing
Yeah,
better.
he's
Not used to it yet.
Yeah.
All right.
A little overexerting for him.
Well, if you ever say something now, we know.
Yeah, he's
Sorry
pretty
about that.
lazy.
Yeah. So this is Brianna. And then I know you know from the consultation and stuff when we started recording all our training sessions and everything like that. So if you ever forget anything, you can always refer to the video. Okay?
Okay.
You got the video I sent you.
Yes.
Correct. Were you able to review that, watch that?
Yes.
Okay. So these follow-up sessions are to help clarify anything that you're having troubles with or any questions about. Okay.
Okay.
Anything from the videos that you're unsure about? Or?
Certain commands, for example, like down, he does it like half of the time.
Okay. Sure.
And then he definitely does not come to me.
Right. Because we have to transfer that stuff to you.
Okay.
Okay. So the assumption is when we do a board and train, or any board and train, people think it's like you teach the skill, you give it the dog back, and then they just do it, right? And just so that you know, like the difference between our board and train and others is I've had people have their dog with someone for 2-3 weeks, and they only get a half an hour with the trainer, and then that's it. I'm like, there's no way that half an hour is going to educate the owner on exactly what the dog knows, plus just transferring everything, right? Because it's not like a vehicle where you replace a few parts and then your vehicle's good to go, you just drive it out, right?
Yeah.
He knows everything, and he knows it with us. Because we've done all the work, but now we have to transfer all that stuff to you, right? Which is why you have, in total, 4 hours of follow-up to make sure you get all that stuff transferred to you, okay? Because he's with us for a week, everything's not 100%. Okay, he's got a very good foundation. By you practicing and using everything, then you kind of finish off what we started. That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay. What we're going to start with today is like the leash walking stuff, and we'll cover the recall as well, because that's super important. And you have a long leash, correct?
Oh, I left it at home.
It's fine. I have.
So sorry. I ordered it too.
No, it's we have one in my backpack here.
Okay, cool.
So we'll start with the leash walking stuff because that's super important. Any questions about that?
So is he supposed to be on the left side at all times?
Correct, right? So the heel is on one side, it's
Yeah.
the left side. If you try to change it up, it's confusing.
Yeah. He's been really good with that actually. Like he was a monster walking before.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't jump out at people or look dogs. So
Okay.
Yeah, the walking's much better.
So think of the heel command as a very strict looking command in the sense of, like people usually go by, my dog doesn't pull that much, right? And then once we teach the dog how to walk well, they'll let things go because it's not what it was before, but that's not how the heel works.
okay.
Heel is very strict, walk with me, stay with me, sit when I stop.
Yeah.
Should the leash be loose or like I've been leaving it loose and he's good with it.
I do it kind of tighter.
Right.
I do it loose and just let him
It's
walk.
really personal preference and confidence, right? So like let's say a person knows the dog is really well trained, their leash will be super loose to the point where they don't have a leash because they know, boom, the dog's right here, they're not going anywhere. If the dog is like reactive, where they lunge and bark at dogs, like they'll be loose, but then when they see a dog, they'll shorten it as precaution in case the dog tries something.
Right.
They're not going to have the full length of the leash, right? So it really comes down to that, and in his performance and how well you're able to reinforce everything. Okay, because we're very strict in my facility, right? There's no exceptions to the rules. So, but people, because they love their dog, they want to have to give the dog good life and stuff, which I understand, is they start to give gray area leniencies, and you can undo the training by those leniencies.
Okay.
So then he starts talking like, hey, Dad says heel, but he doesn't make me heel like Jesse and his team make me heel, right?
Yeah.
So then he learns that behavior.
And his heel, should his like nose be like parallel to the back of your leg basically, or
Right.
he's not walking
My
straight?
definition is right shoulder to left leg.
Right shoulder to left
Yeah.
leg.
So his nose is going to be a little bit ahead, but it should fall no farther than where your foot lands.
Okay.
Right. So when you remote him, if he comes in, you'll see that he'll bring in that right shoulder and tuck into your left leg. That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a particular style of teaching the heel back here. I'm not a fan of it because if the dog starts to lag, then you can't see them.
Yeah.
Whereas when they're here, you tend to feel them as they're bumping against you.
Yeah, he's been sticking with me, and at some points he gets like so pushed into my leg that he like throws me off a little bit.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Yeah, and we'll talk about like how do we correct things like that, but really you always want to keep your motion forward. People tend to give the space, and when they do that, the dog learns to do that behavior even more.
Okay.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is, you guys have your remote?
Yes, I don't think the thing's turned on.
I'm just going to turn that on and let it flank real quick.
do you turn it on the main thing again? I forget.
There's a red dot on the back of the remote that you connect to the one on the collar.
Oh, I have to put it next to it?
Yeah. So when you line them up, it should blink green.
Okay.
Sorry.
Because I think there's actually loose. Yeah, this is loose as well. So you see this? So I can get a hand in there.
Yeah.
You're not going to have connection.
Okay.
So what we're going to do here, so we're going to move this up. This prong collar could probably do
Yeah. I was telling him today.
Yeah, we just put
one
one more in today just in case, but yeah, probably needs
It's
to
a
go
little
back.
too
And you see this here? This is twisted.
Okay.
Okay, so that's also fitted incorrectly. Okay, but that's why we're here. So I'm gonna clip this here so we can go trekking off. Take this here. So with the prong collar, it's not uncommon that happens. What I like to do is whenever you put it up, is I like to hang it like this, or I see it. It's like backwards here.
Okay, that had to be good.
So if you take it, either close it and hang it up. It's actually reversed. I have to fix it again. So your live ring, the swivel ring here, should be where this one is. Okay, it should be on the outside. So we're gonna do this. Yeah, these things can come like puzzles.
Stop eating everything. Stop it. Sit.
Set up correctly.
Sit.
Hey, Bree,
Yeah.
would you fit his e-collar while I figure out this prong collar here? Thank you. So Bree here will show you how to correctly fit it. And I should have sent you some videos as well that go over the correct fitting for the prong collar. Yeah, we're going to use them in conjunction, so this will be a little lower. Back of his left side of his neck.
Usually if it's just a big collar, as high up as possible. But since we have the prong goes there. When you're fitting it, you're not as worried about the tightness of the actual band, but if you feel some of the here, you want to like sit and put your finger under it, it should be really snug, so it's going to feel that. So you should barely be able to touch the two fingers.
Okay.
And if you have nail polish at home, I suggest when you get back, leave this on them, and right where the bar is going through, put a strip of nail polish right there, so you know that you're using the same spot each time. Awesome, thank you. So I've corrected this now. So now the live ring is on the outside. Okay, this is where you clip your leash through. Okay, so I suggest when you take it off of him, hang it on something like a hook or whatever, keep it like that. Or when you remove the prongs, remove them from the center plate.
Okay, center plate.
Right there, and it's hanging up like this. Okay. The reason why I like to use the same prong is because these do wear out over time. As if you keep removing all over the place, you're weakening all the prongs. So with this one, if you use the same one, you're weakening one, and then you just take it off, throw it out, buy it. You know, they sell them in packs, like 3 or 4. Get a new one, replace it, and you're good to go. Okay. Right? So you don't ruin your whole collar. Here, and with the setup, you want the prong above the e-collar. Did he get groomed? He's supposed to.
Yeah.
Think it was pretty busy, huh, bud?
It's going to be a little slippery and hard to catch.
Yeah, there we go. Alright, so we're gonna move this back. Did you happen to get to review those videos, Kelton?
You know what? I did not review them yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so what we'll do here is I'm going to coach you through the stuff. We'll focus on the leash walking. If we can touch on the recall stuff, we will. but the leash walking is really the foundation for everything.
Okay.
Okay? I'll have you take here. And I'm going to have you just show, did you go over anything with them, or is it kind of like just took
I went
Hopkins?
over the commands and things with him, but that's about it.
Okay, so just show me how you walk with him, and then I'm going to help you address anything that's incorrect, okay?
All right. Go.
Good, go ahead and turn. Go ahead and give some slack here. Yeah. Go ahead and slow down. Slower. And stop. Okay. So here, the way heel's supposed to look is completely slack leash. Excuse me. Hopkins right here. Okay? So like when you stop, see how he came out and did this, right?
Yeah.
That tells me he's paying some attention, but not the attention that we're looking for.
Okay.
So we're gonna just tweak a few things. First thing you want to do is get our connection. So on your e-collar, it's the bumpy button, the one on the side.
Okay.
Right there, okay? And I think you're at 22, is it?
Oh yeah, I think
22,
it's
Yep.
yeah.
So go ahead and I'm gonna have you're gonna look at Hopkins here, and it just
Hopkins.
tap.
Hopkins. All right. Should he be looking at me?
Don't worry about the look.
I think it's too low.
yeah,
On the video it says at like 70.
Was it?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get the connection first, okay? So go ahead and tap, tap, tap. So nothing, right? Go to 30.
Okay. How do I put it up?
Oh, the dial on top. You're gonna turn it clockwise, and don't worry if you land on 32 or anything like that. Because his numbers they change because he's got a thicker coat. When
Yeah.
you have good connection, it's lower. When you have not good connection, it's higher. Right. So you see right now, you put his butt down. That you tapped, right?
I didn't tap the screen.
Oh, sorry. Tap. 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 So there's a slight response. Tap. 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 Let's go to 38. I saw a couple of twitches. So what we're looking for, because this causes the muscle contraction, is that you're going to see a movement.
Okay.
Tap. Tap. Tap.
You don't need to close
Hit
it,
the
don't worry about
pager
that.
on the front.
This one?
Yeah. Hit again. Oh, it's off.
Oh, okay. We never, that would be the reason. Yeah.
Oh no. Have you guys charged this?
Oh, the battery's off.
It's dying. Oh.
Out or dead?
It's gonna die really soon.
Okay.
All right, so we'll see what we can do because it's blinking red.
Okay.
I don't think I usually have one with me, but at my facility, I'm pretty sure.
Our first lesson is such a bust. Sorry guys.
All right, hit the
I went back to 20 just because it didn't work before.
for sure.
Okay.
Okay, and now you're gonna hit the bumpy one
Okay.
and tap
Yeah, I see the
right
red.
there. So you see how you felt that right away, right? So 70 isn't always the answer. So that's why we want to find our number first. Okay, so right away on 20, you saw that twitch and he put his butt down. That means we have connection. Okay, and since he gave me such a big response because he twitched and laid down, I would say 20 is the appropriate tap.
Yeah, yeah.
Tap. You say he put his butt down? There we go, right? So we've taught Hopkins that when he sits standing next to you, that the tap means to put the butt down.
Okay.
Okay? And we'll talk more about the specifics, okay? So I'm gonna have you go ahead and give slack on your leash. That's good right there.
Right here?
Yeah, and then just like that, okay? So when you walk with your dog, you should be relaxed, you shouldn't be like this, okay? Also, the reason for this is to give Hopkins the opportunity to actually make mistakes so that we can correct them. Most people want to restrain dogs. Like when I saw you had the leash really short and stuff like that, and because he's learned pressure, he was responding to it, but over time you could actually untrain him and he would become a puller again.
Okay.
And because of that tension. So what we're gonna do here is you're gonna say heel, and you're gonna start moving forward with that left leg. That turns everything on. Once you say heel and you start moving, Hopkins' job is to stay with you, walk beside you, like that position right there is perfect. And then when you stop, to automatically put his butt down. Okay. If Hopkins were to pass, you know how to correct that.
This with this?
And what else?
Heel. Yep.
When Hopkins passes, you would use the remote, but you're also going to 180 to your right.
Okay, 180.
You're gonna go the opposite way, always to the right.
Okay, so turn around all the way up to the right.
Correct.
Okay.
So if you're walking with Hopkins and he gets ahead, you would turn, tap, tap, tap until he's here.
Okay.
Right? And should you need to keep going that way, you would simply turn
All right.
again.
What do you want me to do on this run?
So you're gonna say heel, and I'm gonna have you just start walking, and I'll coach you through the rest. Okay? Heel.
Yeah.
Good. Keep forward. There you go. Go ahead and slow down. Turn to your right. Forward. Forward. Keep going. So you see how he didn't keep going, right? He kind of hesitated to put his butt down because he wasn't too sure what you were doing. Because you're learning too.
Yeah.
Tap forward. Tap forward. Good. So in this case, you didn't turn because he didn't pass you. He just went left of you. Slow down. There you go. Slow down. Now turn. Tap forward. Tap forward. 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 Pull to your left. There you go. And left. Good. Right there. Good. So what you're doing here is when you're going the opposite way to Hopkins and you're remoting, you're annoying him and you're saying, you're going the wrong way, man. So then when he turns around, he's like, oh, Dad's going that way. So he lines up. Now slow down here. Right turn. Keep forward. Keep forward. Right turn. Yep. Got it. Pull to your left. Tap. Good. And relax. Good. So when you're walking with Hopkins, that's where he should be. His right shoulder parallel to your left leg, okay?
Got it.
The remote is your means of communicating with him to tell him either he's getting too far off of you or he's passing you. Yep, keep moving. And then slow to a stop. Right there, good, okay? So, but you see how there's no tension?
Yeah.
Okay? There should be no tension.
Okay.
Okay. If you feel tension, it's because he's doing something he shouldn't be, right? So if this is happening,
Yeah, so if he goes off too far in one direction, should I hit this and pull him, or hit this only?
either or. So like right now when you were walking, he went over here. You just kept forward and you tapped,
Yeah.
and he came in,
Yeah.
right? So he's conditioned with the remote to fix things, but from time to time you might see he gets confused. So like when he came over to your right side, we typically counter with pressure to our left as we tap.
Okay.
To bring him over, right? But because we've done that with him, when you were doing it, he actually just did it himself, right? So he's been conditioned to the button in certain contexts and what to do. But if you see him getting confused, you would use leash pressure to guide him. Okay. Now you should never have to physically do things for him. Okay. So I wouldn't just drag him to my left side because I do all the work. Right? I want him to do it.
Yeah.
So it's very light pressure. The remote is what gets them to go, oh, I come over here.
Okay, yeah, I'm messing up. Yeah.
Correct. So I tell people it's not about physical control, it's about mental control. Right? So like when we deal with these bigger dogs, like Rotties and kind of horses and stuff, I'm like, that dog's more powerful than, a lot of people. It's not about the physical, it's about the mental. Once you control this, everything else is easy. Okay? So when you're walking with Hopkins, when you're in the heel, it's very strict. There's no exception to this.
Right.
Okay? If you decide I want to let him potty, you would stop and then issue the word break. Break means now you're free to go do your business.
Okay.
You can pee, poop, roll around, have a cigarette, that's the time. Once he's ready to go, heel, boom.
Okay, so nothing while we're walking.
Correct.
So I've noticed too. I mean, he's still young, but I'll take him out for potty breaks. We're doing the heel, and then all of a sudden he's stopping to pee as we're walking. I'm like,
Sure.
oh shoot.
Sure.
Is that
If it's already happening, right?
Yeah.
Because he's still a pup, right? He's 8 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I let it happen, right? It happens to us too, like dogs can stop to poop, we get it. But we try to take them out beforehand. So I usually structure my walks with a potty break in the beginning.
Okay.
And then after he's done, good. There you go. After he's done, then I go on my walk. So technically there shouldn't be anything, right? But if it happens, it happens. Otherwise, if you see him start to pull off to the side, the potty more frequently than not, he's learning a habit.
Yeah.
And he's learning, hey, yeah, I'm in heel, but if I want to stop the pee, I can stop the pee.
Right.
One thing we're trying to get him not to do is he always goes to the bathroom on the sidewalk. He just stops and like number 2, and we're trying to get him to go in the grass so we don't.
Yes. So,
That would be part of the break.
right. right? So like, let's say you come out your house, I would start off first with that potty break. Wait till he sees the poop, especially if it's in the morning. It's typically the routine, and then it's now we walk. Exactly. So heel turns everything on. But like, let's say you want to walk with Hopkins, but you want to be a loose walk, then you wouldn't say heel. Okay? It would just be you come out, he potties, and then you just start going for a stroll. But expect him to be pulling himself. Because it's not under command. It's on his free time. And that's where people struggle. Because they're like, Jesse, I don't need the dog here all the time. I just don't want him to pull. I'm like, it doesn't work that way with dogs. Okay, it's either they're here or they're pulling. Okay, every now and then you'll see a person, they're like, well, their dog does it. I'm like, yeah, but your dog's not their dog.
When he starts going out of order, then we shouldn't repeat the heel command?
You just use the remote.
Okay.
Correct. So like, let's say he passes you, you wouldn't say Hopkins heel, turn. You would just turn and start remoting to bring him here. And that's how you fix having to repeat. Because that's what people do, is they repeat, and then they use the remote. I say it one time and always use the remote to reinforce. So the dog thinks like, crap, if I don't want to get in trouble and get the remote, I don't make mistakes. Okay? And he's going to make them from time to time, you know. If you find you're having to do corrections all the time, something's wrong. Either you might have your leash too tight. Having a tight leash tells Hopkins to pull. That it's a part of their how they respond to things. When they feel short tension, it makes them want to move away from it. Okay, so that's one detail. The other detail is you're possibly too low in your collar. Okay, so like right now we're on 20, but like let's say there was a ton of dogs here and Hopkins just wanted to play with them. 20 may not be enough to address him with all those dogs around. Okay, you might have to bump it to 45. So earlier when we did the like 20 to 28, 36, right? We went gradually to get connection first to find the appropriate number before starting. And then we turned it on. And then you said, I'm gonna go down lower. That was exactly right. And then we tried again, but 20 off the bat got what we wanted. And it's been working. So I know 20 in this environment is the answer. Okay? So never get married to a number. Okay? It may change according to what's going on. It might change because he's really hot. The dogs get really hot. Your number tends to go up much higher. If he stops for a rest break, expect you're going to want to bring it back down again. Okay? Questions so far?
I think I asked most of them while I was, in between while you were talking. On the heel, I think I'm good. So I guess when do we begin that? Because we live in a little, like we go outside a gate, he goes out, he goes potty. So right, like when we go outside of the gate, that's when I start to heel.
Oh, sure, right? So you can technically start to heel whenever, right? Like you can start as soon as you walk out the front door. Now, if you find like if he really has to go to the bathroom in the morning, and it's like a pain to keep him in that position, I'll tell the owners, just forget about it. Wait for the dog to use the bathroom, and then employ the heel. And it tends to work backwards because he's still like potty training in the sense that he's just developing control. But once the dog is like mature enough and can hold their potty, no problem. That's not a problem anymore. You can just jump straight to the heel, right? But if I know he's got a pee, trying to keep him in that tight position, it's going to be a battle. Right. Because he's like, I got to go, man.
So we'll keep letting him out to pee, and then we'll start.
My dog's question is, so clearly he likes to eat stuff off the ground.
Correct.
Would I tell him no and click on it, or how do I train him not to?
So when you want to eliminate something, you just want to remote it. Okay, in my opinion. So
he's going down to eat some grass.
Yes, right. Because what happens is if you say leave it and then you remote, you technically always have to say leave it. Right? So let's say he sees something you don't, he's already got it. Oh crap, right? If you just remote it, he's thinking the only way to avoid not being remoted is to not pick up crap off the ground.
So get it before he does it.
Correct.
Right. My other question, with the collars, do we do both of them at the same time until he's trained?
So it really comes down to your control with him, right? The more strict you are, the better you get. You understand these concepts. You just need the collar, right?
How long typically would you say people that we should use the collar? I mean, before he's but the e-collar before he's like totally, 100%. Probably don't need this anymore.
So I spoke to you about this, but people always forget this. Is dogs aren't like humans. Okay, he knows a bunch of skills right now, or he's learned a bunch of skills. All right, we're gonna try this. Do you drive?
Yeah.
You go on the expressway?
Yes.
You go the speed limit?
I go faster than the speed limit.
Okay. So do I. Most people do, right? Why do you do that?
Because I want to get places fast.
Right. And also because there's no cops around.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? If there was a cop around, would you still be doing that?
No, no.
Okay, so imagine that with Hopkins, right? Tap here. Tap. Because you got up. Okay. I don't care about where right now, just that you put his foot back down.
Yeah.
Dogs are the same way. Think of the e-collar as your top on a collar.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where it's like when you need the control or you may want it, when you're outside, it's present.
Okay.
But he's so well trained that it's present, but you're not really using it. Does that make sense? Because he knows I need to behave myself. But maybe one day, 6 months from now, a dog comes blazing through and Hopkins goes like, hey, that looks like fun, and goes after him out of nowhere. Now you're like, I have a means of making him come back, right? Or let's say you have Hopkins and someone blows up a firework and it scares him and he runs away,
Yeah.
right? You have a means of getting him back because it's not about come and call anymore.
Yeah.
It's about your dog scared for his life and running away from the threat.
Right.
Where you're like, nobody, like, you come back here,
Yeah,
right?
he was very scared of the hell before.
The train?
Oh my god, yeah.
Sure, right? So, the point is, in my book, when you need it, it's present. When you don't need it, you don't have it, right? Inside the house is a great dog. You don't need it. You're going for a walk with them for a quick potty break. You use your prong collar. You don't need it.
Yeah,
but
we definitely want to have him be like the kind of dog that we can just let off leash in a park and hang it and not have to worry about him running away.
And with this system, you totally can. And you know, again, other people you're like, well, that dog doesn't have any collar, and like these 20 dogs don't have it. And I go, yeah. But also, you've not been here when dogs have run off into the street, chasing after a rabbit or a squirrel, and the owner's chasing after them, right?
Yeah. Our beagle's 10 years old. He's beyond help. He'd be dead in 5 seconds if we let him off leash.
Yeah, so when we cover the recall stuff, that's when you'd be able to do more in terms of letting him go off leash. And there's a structure to it. You do have to do more practice. You have to transfer everything to you. And you still have to do work in terms of getting him to that degree. Right? But it's easy work. It's just going to take longer because it requires you to go somewhere, put him on a long leash, remember to bring it,
Yes, sorry.
and remember to charge the collar.
One more quick question before we move on to other stuff. So, just basic tricks and things like that. Like, we would probably use this, or like if we wanted to, I don't know, go in between my legs and in
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
That's fun stuff.
Yeah.
You can do that with treats.
Okay,
right?
then just positive reinforcement
Yeah.
stuff? Okay.
I care about function. So sit down, stay, come, heel, and place. 6 commands are what he's learned. Okay, those are all applicable to life.
Okay.
Okay, paw is a cute thing. Like I'm not going to remote a dog for giving me the paw. I could care less. But I want to make sure if that dog's running towards something they shouldn't, I'm getting them back.
Yeah.
That's where I focus on.
Sure.
Okay. So that's all the stuff that we've taught him is those 6 commands.
Got it.
So we have the heel, right? So the main thing for you to remember right now is when Hopkins passes you is to always 180 right turn and tap the other way, okay? You might find yourself tugging back and tapping him to come back, and you might find it works, okay? But it will become a forever problem.
Okay, so let me just make sure I got this right. So if he passes me and I'm trying to go in a direction to a certain point, I still turn around?
Correct, to correct him, but then you would immediately turn again to go back
Okay,
the
got it.
opposite way.
Okay.
Correct, right. I understand, you gotta get from point A to point B, right? Otherwise it's like, when am I ever gonna
Just spinning in circles.
This is taking forever.
tap again?
Huh?
Tap.
Yep.
Yep.
And you can lower it, bring your number down to 12.
All right.
And then what I'm gonna have you do here is anchor yourself where you're at, once you're ready,
Okay.
and then lightly pull to your left, tap, tap, pull, 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 tap,
That's it.
tap, try going to 16. Good, lightly pull to your left, tap, pull a bit more pressure on the leash, there he goes, and then up, there you go, right there, right? So what you did was, he overcompensated, and he got off. So then most people are on the dog. I go, no. Keep yourself where you're at, give him some direction, tap,
Okay.
came right back to where he was. I don't need him to be perfect. Okay, it's just family pet stuff. It's like where he's at, technically, you know, a trainer would say like, oh, he's off, you know, position. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I just care the dog is sitting next to me, okay? But I don't want him over here because that is completely off, okay? So that first one you did, you heard the yip, right? And then he jumped about 4 feet of you.
Yeah,
that
like-
told you too high.
Too high, yeah.
Go down to 12, and then there was no response. That told you too low. 16, boom.
Should you give him any positive, like, vocal reinforcement when he does stuff when he obeys along with that?
Sure, like
good boy,
you can
yeah.
say good boy and you can praise, right? Now, let's say you started petting him and you said, good job, Hopkins, and he stood up. You would correct that.
Okay.
His butt back there. And then I go back to good job, Hopkins, right? Because then you're adding in a distraction. You're adding in energy, and then he's thinking, oh, cool, like we're all done, the party's here. And the answer is no. You still have to keep your butt down. I don't care if he wiggles and he's sitting or whatever, he just has to stay in that position. Okay? So it's very strict. You want to be strict because that's what makes Hopkins better. People tend to give the dog like opportunities to be a good dog and to make the right decision. Yep, like forward. Yep, tap. A little bit more of a pull. Tap. Tap. There he goes. Right there. They're like, oh, you know, I'm gonna say sit, and I'll say sit 5 times, and I hope at some point the dog will sit. Like, no, just say it once, make the dog do it, because that's what creates the reliability. People give too many opportunities, and the dog's just blowing off every opportunity, and then finally the person kicks in. But now you've created delay, so now he's gonna wait for you to say sit 5 times before he does it.
Right.
And then the problem with that is, what happens if Hopkins running towards the street, and you're going, Hopkins, come. By the time he hits that 5th recall, he's already in the street. Right? That's why everything just make the dog do it. You're not being mean, you're just being firm and you're being very direct. Dogs thrive with being spoken to in a very direct manner. I'm not opposed to positive reinforcement, good boy, treat, stuff like that. When he's earned it, I'm not a big fan of doing it just because they're cute and fluffy, okay? But with his personality type, like you could get away with it, right? When we get dogs that have like aggression issues and stuff, it's a little bit more different. So I always go by the dog. As long as the dog's obedient and listens and is well behaved, I could care less what the owner does. Okay? Other questions?
I think that's it for me right now. You have some more other questions?
So I'm going to have you do a bit more of the heel here real quick, okay?
Heel.
Now, one thing I want to note to you when you're walking with Hopkins is whenever you're going to come to a stop and whenever you're going to come to a turn, you want to make sure you always slow down prior.
Okay.
Going to speed up a little. Go ahead and slow down. Go ahead and slow turn. Forward, good. Now pick it up. So you see how he turned with you? Did you have to do anything? Huh?
Yeah, he stays right there.
Yeah. So the slowing down, it's like driving. Before you stop, you slow. Before you turn, you slow. To let your drivers know, your fellow drivers know, like, hey, think you change it.
Right.
It's the same thing with Hopkins, okay? So when you slow down, if he's paying attention, he should slow down with you. If he's not paying attention, when it's slow to a stop, what do you think happens?
Right. When you don't slow down?
If you slow down, right, and if he's not paying attention, what do you think happens?
He keeps going?
Yeah. And then what do you do?
I put this.
And
Turn.
yes. I usually answer that. No, it's gonna be a quiz. I like questioning people because it helps them retain stuff more. Right. So that turn, you're like, oh shit, didn't have to do anything, right?
Yeah.
It should be like that because Hopkins is paying mind to you, but that's one half of the puzzle. Him paying attention. The second half of the puzzle is communicating. Hey, buddy, I'm slowing down. Things are changing. Like, oh, okay, what are we doing?
Right.
We're turning. Oh, okay, and he turns with you. Okay. So as long as you get that communication, you should be fine. If you find during the week, you're like, man, Hopkins is going ahead, and there's my turn. He keeps going. You're not slowing down.
Okay. What would you say about turning left? Because then
Yes.
I just, well, my body kind of guides it, I guess. Into the,
So when you turn, there's specifics to this. When you turn left, as long as you slow down, it shouldn't be a problem. But you would lead it with your right leg.
Okay.
If you would forward him the email, please.
Yeah.
So I sent her an email that reviews everything. Just keep it secret, man.
keeping all the juices for yourself.
I didn't think it's like an hour and something long.
Alright.
It breaks down everything.
Okay.
Okay. And it talks about the turns.
So kind of cross your leg in front of him so he knows.
Yes, but it's the right leg. It's
Yeah.
very specific.
Yeah, the right leg.
Because if you do the left leg, you're gonna trip over him.
Right.
Okay. So that's gonna help give you a much clearer picture of everything. So that this way, when you come back, like we can fill in the gaps that it's like I didn't really get this concept. Okay, but as long as you slow down, either turn should not be a problem.
Okay.
Okay. Main thing is don't hesitate, because when people slow down, they tend to like want to walk around the dog. I'm like, just walk.
Confidence, yeah.
Exactly. Just walk assertively, you'll be fine. When you came to the stop here, I don't know if you noticed, he kind of bucked a little bit, right? Because it was an abrupt stop. So you would have wanted to keep walking very slowly, and then slowly come into that stop to give him the opportunity to stop with you. Okay? So I'm gonna have you again heel. You're gonna move forward with your left leg. You'll do a slow turn, come back to a slow stop.
Okay.
Okay? Are you ready?
Heel.
Good turn. Yep, good turn. Slow turn stop.
Oh, okay.
You combined it.
Okay, sorry.
But you did it enough that he was able to stop for the most part with you.
Okay.
So it would really be
So keep going off the turn and then stop after.
you would, like you're walking, right? And then when you're ready to stop, you just slow. Just like
Oh,
that.
okay. I did turn stop. Yeah.
Let's try one more with the just straight stop.
Okay. So I'm gonna do a turn and then a straight stop on the way back.
Correct.
Okay. Heel.
Good turn. Yep, good turn. Tap forward. Good job. Yep, good job. Forward. And then start to slow here. Slower. There you go. Like that. Good leg. Just trying to scratch at the box. Yeah. As he gets used to it, that should go away. Can you do that loud to you guys? Yeah. As you expose more to it, that should eventually go down. Every now and then we get a dog that'll just always shake when we tap, but he's not any kind of discomfort or concern.
Yeah. He does that with almost any collar we put on. Like,
Gotcha. But you see how that worked out?
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever you walk again, if it seems like he's not paying attention, it's because the communication isn't there. Okay. So you walk out, he does the potty break. All right, we're gonna walk. I don't want you to pull me. Heel. Boom, and then we start, right? It's his job to pay attention to you, but it's your job to make sure that he's paying attention, okay? Whenever you come to a stop, Hopkins' job is to put his butt down automatically. We would not say sit, okay? This is built into the command. Sit is its own command.
Okay.
Sit means put your butt down, don't move. What we're doing here is walk with me, stay with me, and sit when I come to a stop, okay? So like earlier, when like all those bikes and things were going, if you're unsure about like, well, I don't want Hopkins to just get up, technically you shouldn't, right? But then you can just shorten your leash at that moment because you're wanting to eliminate how much range of motion he has. So if he did get up, he's not going to end up over there in front of that person. You know what I mean? And then once you're ready to go, you give the slack again, heel, and then you start walking. Okay? Questions?
yeah. So if we're just walking around our neighborhood, we're just comfortable in the area, do we need to call the collar?
No, you should be fine. I had you guys do the prong collar just in case. So like, let's say you just want to run them out for a quick potty break. You can just get away with the prong collar.
The
Prong.
Oh, the prong.
Yeah, that's like kind of like a quick run out. Let's go potty real quick, no issue. As he matures, because dogs do change as they get older, like you might find he becomes more interested in breeding dogs, right? And maybe you turn the corner and there's a dog there. And he's like, hey dog, let's say hi, right? That's where the prong would kick in. Because that's the immediate control, right? So that he doesn't just drag you down. As you try to get him settled with the remote. So it really just depends on how he matures. And also just how well you're able to reinforce these concepts, right? Because you're not dog trainers. Like I do this every day, day in, day out. She does it as well. That it's like a part of just who we are, right? Whereas for you guys, people tend to fall on habits or their own personal like theories of how dogs learn and how they use the tools, and then the dog learns bad behavior again. Okay, so as long as you're reinforcing everything like I've shown you, Hopkins should just be solid. Okay. Then it's in terms of how much control you get, like off leash and all that stuff, depends on how much you practice. Push him beyond what he's learned. Okay. Other questions?
Good on that. We're going to do the recall today too.
I don't think we're gonna have enough time. But what we can do is, you said sometimes he downs, sometimes he doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay. So when have you employed the down?
When I want to just lay down, like lay out, lay down.
Sure. Is he like in his own world, like kind of jumping around and stuff, or?
No, he's just kind of sitting there. He'll sit, and then I try to get him to lay.
Okay. So what I would do here is, he have any of his equipment on? No. Okay. I'd put his equipment on. Because he's still, so technically when we do boarding trains, 4 weeks is like the full, your dog is as close to 100% as possible, right? He's about like 57, okay? So now you have to transfer everything to you, but then also practice it enough that you have a solid concept, right? What we're gonna do here is go ahead and take your leash and flip it around so it's like this. Careful with the movement here. Good.
At least it's not too hot for him.
And then you're going to give a little bit of slack. Okay. And then with your left foot, you're going to lightly step on the leash.
On the leash?
Yeah. Okay. And you say down.
Down.
Right.
Down.
And then wait a moment. Good. Okay. So that was through the prong collar. Okay. So he's needing a reinforcer to make it happen. The other way that we do it is we lightly touch on the shoulders and tap to position him. Okay? So I'm going to have you go ahead and you're going to say heel. You're going to start walking. You might have to move your leash a little bit. You'll come back and come to a stop, and I'll show you how that works. Okay? And how to correct this as well. You technically shouldn't have gotten that.
Okay.
So I'll show you how that works. So go ahead and heel real quick, loop around, bring it back.
Okay. Heel.
Turn. Yep, keep turning, moving. Forward, forward, forward. Yep, there you go.
Stop, yeah, I thought
Yeah. Then slow to stop. Good, right? Now what you're going to do here is take your leash and move it to your right hand with your remote. Very good. And very lightly, with your left hand, you're going to press on the shoulders and you're going to tap. All right, keep it there. And praise, that a boy. Okay, so if Hopkins doesn't down on the verbal cue, don't repeat it. You use either one of these methods to make him do so.
Okay, the leash step or the shoulder tap. Yeah, the shoulder tap's good. That was good. Yeah.
Okay, so you have two options here. Now this happens. Tap. Shorten your leash a little bit. Tap. And bring him to your tap. 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 Shorten your leash a bit.
Oh, sure.
There you go. Tap. Bring to your right hand. Tap. And then lightly with your left hand touching the shoulders. Lightly. Like there. Very good. Right. Now again, because you got up, tap. There you go. All right. And we're going to ignore the spiraling around tap. There you go. It's okay. It's okay. Tap. 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 Right. Very good. And then relax. Tap. Tap. Good. But it's getting easier. Tap. Good. And then relax. Tap. Tap. You're okay. Tap. Tap. There you go. Right. Now relax. Good. Tap. Tap. It's okay. Tap. 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 Little pressure. Tap. Good. Right. Relax. Good. Excellent. So that took you like 20 times.
Yeah.
Most people go, the dog doesn't know it. Like, no, he knows it. He just doesn't want to do it. That's the difference. Okay. So this is why I talk about we have to transfer everything to you because we've already done this, right? But it doesn't just transfer. Because he's thinking, well, I used to do whatever I wanted with you guys. But now you're telling me you have to lay down and not move? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where that's coming from. So the main thing is patience and consistency.
Okay.
Right? I don't care that it's perfect. I just care that he does it. Okay? Eventually, it gets so easy that he just does it and it almost looks perfect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's say you're at home. You want to. This equipment gives you control, right? And maybe you want Hopkins to stay put for while you watch a movie or something. I leash him up. You don't need the prong, the D-collar on. I lay him down at my feet. I step on the leash, and then I watch him for 2 hours. And then as he tries to get up, all you gotta do is press the button, maybe help him a little bit, and then go back to watching the movie. And you keep practicing that, and eventually he learns like, oh, all right, when you say down, I could try to get up 100 times, but you're gonna make me lay back down 100 times. Yeah. And this happens, right? So ever since you corrected him those 10 to 20 times,
yeah.
he's now been laying there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's not him being stubborn or anything like that. It's he's pressing boundaries.
Okay.
And you didn't have to be forceful. You didn't have to be mean, right? And you're still on what, 20 or whatever? 16?
Yeah, 17.
17.
Yeah.
Right. So that goes 127. So we don't need to slam him back into position, but you're being firm on what you're wanting to do. Okay. Don't ever feel bad. When he was getting kind of confused and moving around a lot, when you shorten the leash, and it's in the video I believe as well, when you shorten the leash, you're limiting options. Okay, so this way, because here he had all that space to go.
Right, point him in the right direction. Right?
Exactly, so when you limit all those options, he's going to go to the position faster. Okay? And then eventually I could tell that it was getting easier. And eventually it got so easy that then he was staying there and not moving.
Yeah.
Okay, so all this is super common. This is why we do a lot more follow-up than other places, because people are thinking, oh, the dog's going to just know it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it doesn't really work that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta reinforce it.
Exactly. Okay. Does this clear up the down issue?
Yeah.
Okay. Now to release him from this position.
Break.
Okay. And now he's technically free, right?
Good.
So and he's technically able to also lay down as well, right? So when you're done with him, and down is meant for extended use. It's meant for lay down and don't move for as long as you need them to not move for.
Okay.
But it's very specific. It's lay down in this position. That's it. He can't sit up. He can't stand up. He has to be laid down.
Okay.
Okay. The other command that we have is called replacement. Okay. We'll do that real quick. So with the place command, this here is an elevated dog bed.
We have one of those at home actually.
Awesome. So you can use the same thing. Go ahead and bring Hopkins over. Probably default there, right? So like you see how he just ran, he just goes there, right? He's already kind of familiar with it. He went there of his own accord, so he's not under command. So I'm gonna have you just real quick, you're gonna reverse. Hopkins gonna walk towards you. Okay. So he comes off and then you're gonna come forward, but don't allow him onto the place bed.
Okay.
Good. Now move forward a little bit.
And how do I not let him on?
Just use your leash. Okay. Yeah. Good, right there. And then hold for a second. Lightly. There you go. Good. All right. So now you're going to say place and immediately tap and a little bit of leash pressure directing him to the bed.
Place.
Yep. Right there. Right. So now Hopkins and this command is you go to this area and you don't move. I don't care if you lay down, sit up, stand up, play with a toy. Just don't come off of the area. So it's much more lenient. Okay. So down is very strict. That's it.
Right.
Place is either one of those things. Just stay within the area. So if he tries to step off, you would correct that. He should step back on again. Okay. This is also meant for extended use. So like, let's say you're going to go on a picnic, and you don't want to worry about Hopkins and what he's doing. Bring a little blanket or something, or bring his elevated bed, pop it down, place, boom, he goes there, and he'd be there 2 hours, 6 hours, 30 minutes. You decide. Okay. And then to release him, break. Okay. Break is the universal. You're off the clock. Okay, sit down, stay, come, heel, place, are all on the clock. When I give that cue, you do it until I say you're done.
Okay.
Okay? So now you have your heel, you have your down command, and you have your place command. Okay? I definitely recommend that you use these things on a somewhat regular basis, because that saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, is true. And it's not that you'll forget it, but the function of it it's not as good.
For something like our home, so can you use any location as a place, or should there be one thing that's a specific place?
So if, dogs can have multiple things. So like let's say in the living room you want to use like an ottoman, right? You can do that. In that room he knows places go on the ottoman. Let's say in the bedroom, he has his own bed. And in that room, places go to that bed. Okay. Right? He'll learn it within the context of the room. Okay. So you can have multiple.
So one room, one place.
Correct. That's the easiest. Okay. It's also movable. So if you decide to move things around, it's a different location within that room, you will at some point learn to recognize the object in the room, and then go there. Okay. Let's say you replace it, you get a new piece of furniture, or you get a new dog bed or something. You may have to take a step back and say place and lead them with the transfer, like this is now the new place. Right. But then once they get it, it's no problem, and then you can just send. Okay. In the beginning, you again want to have the setup with the leash and stuff on. Okay. Watching a movie, getting dinner, maybe guests coming over, you want Hopkins like going in everybody's business, right? That's where that would come into play. Maybe you go over to a friend's house, and again, you don't want them in everybody's business, and you brought over a blanket with you. You just need something that has a perimeter, okay, that's different from the rest of the area itself to help them distinguish what is what. Okay? It's not like you can pick a specific spot like this because where's the boundary, right? So that's why elevated dog beds, blankets, towels, yoga mats,
something like that. That's more for down, right?
That's what?
More for just down.
Exactly, right. That's what down comes into play. Because now there's no perimeter, so it's like, all right, well then down, but now it's very strict. Okay. So let's say you go to a restaurant and you don't have anything to bring with you. You take Hopkins down, step on your leash, right, and then you can maybe knot the leash on your chair arm or something like that while you have breakfast and lunch. And his job is to get on your feet. If he tries to get up, I give him a tap. He lays back down again and go back to enjoying my lunch again. Okay. The more you use it, the better he's going to get. The most important part of dog training is application. Okay. And these things are so easy to do, but people don't do them because they feel bad. Because they're like, it's so much control. Like, oh my God, it's free. But then that's also part of like the problem they have with their dog.
Discipline.
Yeah. So, everybody's life with their dog is different. You think about what's applicable to you and you use it accordingly. Okay, so if you know, like, yeah, we go to brunch live, we like to be out of patios, and we were there for an hour and a half, then you want to be using a down or a place for at least 2 hours on a regular basis so that it keeps its use and function. Okay? Questions?
Looking good for now.
So we'll get those videos to you. Okay? I think that'll help clear up a lot of stuff as well. And then feel free to start practicing things just as you see them, but do use your tools, use your leash, use your long leash. Okay? And then as we do the follow-ups, if you've made more progress with stuff, I'll help you build on top of your progress. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Err on the side of caution right now. Don't use the remote if he's off the leash in an unenclosed area. Okay, until I go over the recall with you. You can send him away. So you want to make sure we clarify a few things first. Okay. Once we get that down, you have the understanding, we can start doing that. Okay. If he's on a leash, I don't mind. That's where he's gonna go. Right, he's attached to you. And then take it from there. Okay. It's good seeing everybody. Yeah. Good to see that
Sorry nothing was charged.
Fine. At least it lasted for the session.
Yeah, that's all we need. Yeah. That would have been good.
And then we typically have stuff. We usually have color as well, but I had a facility today. But you get in touch with Maria. You set it up. Okay. So the way we usually do a long 2-hour pickup and then an hour. You can either do your 2-hour next time, or if you want to split it up into 2-hour sessions.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Depends on the weather, because right now I didn't realize this is
now.
perfect for him, but when it gets so hot,
Sure. Yeah, and I like this area because it's shady. So even when the sun's out, we have plenty of coverage.
Good. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, I'll talk to Maria and see what she has available. We'll go from there.
Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, she was a good student. No issues. A little neat though.
He is neat. When she said that, I started noticing it more, and I was like, he is really neat.
Yes. So we could talk about that as well, because that can potentially get worse. And trust me, it's a new dog is annoying. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Get enough
It was a pleasure talking.
Yeah,
we'll see you again soon.
Yes. All right. Any questions? Feel free to reach out.